We are ready to sew the side panels to the center front. So your center front has one single notch in the middle and one single notch by the bust area. So really we're just going to do right sides together and match up all the notches down the side front. So there should be a waist notch that matches up with the first tier in the dress. The notch up here is a bust notch. And the side front has a little bit of a curve. There's a tiny bit of easing that needs to be done, but not much. And then you just go down and find your notches that correspond with each of your tiers. Once you've pinned both of your side fronts to your center front, go ahead and stitch at 3/8 of an inch and finish that seam. We'll be pressing the seam to the center front. You can see here after sewing the side front to the front panel, we've finished the seam and then pressed it towards the center front. Now we're ready to attach our center back. You can find that piece with the double notches to our side back panel. There's also double notches at the front. Again, just take your pins and pin all the way down the seam, matching up your notches. Again, this first tier is also the waist notch, and then there should be a notch along the edge for each of the tiers. You want to make sure that the seam allowance is continued to be pressed up for each of the tiers too. Repeat for both sides. Sew the seam at 3/8 of an inch and then finish it and press it again towards the center back. Now we have the side back panel sewn to the center back panels. We've finished the seam and pressed it towards the center back. So I've done both sides and now we have a complete tube. So the next thing to do is to gather the top edge of the center front and center back. We won't be gathering the side panels where there's stay stitching, so now, since we've already kind of gone over what that technique looks like, I'll go and sew that gathering and come back and show you what it looks like. I've just added the gathers to the center front and center back bodice sections. For this section, I did it the same way that I gathered the side tiers, 2 parallel lines, and then pressed in my gathers. The only thing to remember about this step is not to add any gathers around the side seams. We're going to be ready to attach the dress section to the bodice.